Morning, everyone. I'd like to call the Redevelopment Agency meeting on March 20th, 2013 to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being video recorded as well as presented live on KCLV, Cable Channel 2, and are closed captioned for our hearing impaired viewers. Please note some customers of Cox Communication who do not have a cable box may view this meeting on digital channel 89.5. The Redevelopment Agency meeting, as well as all other KCLV program, may be viewed on the city's website, www.kclv.tv. The proceedings will be rebroadcast, KCLV Channel 2 and the web, the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m., and also on Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 1 p.m. This building is protected by a state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler system. If the alarm should activate during today's meeting, please evacuate using the exit to the back of the chamber, out to the mezzanine. Proceed out the double doors to the terrace and down the back staircase. For anyone who has difficulty with stairs, please check with a marshal or a fire official for assistance. Once outside, assemble on the northeast corner across the street from City Hall at Lewis and First Street. Employees wearing safety vests or our city marshals will inform you when it is safe to re-enter the building. For public comment related to the items on the agenda, citizen participation, and public hearing items, we have available a speaker card which you may complete and submit to the city clerk. Cards are available online in the clerk's office or at the rear of these chambers. If you do not submit a card, it does not prevent you from speaking under the public comment, citizen participation, or specified public hearing items. If there's anyone present today who has need for hearing impaired equipment, please come to the front and see our city clerk staff. If you parked in the parking garage across the street, did not receive a validation ticket as you entered chambers, please exit to your right and then see the security personnel at the entrance. We will move on to item number 3. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. The amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. All comments made will be cross-referenced to those specific items. If anyone submitted a speaker card or wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda, please come to the podium and now state your name for the record. We will set the time at 1 minute.
Yay.
We will move on to item number 4. For possible action to approve the final minutes by reference of the regular redevelopment agency of February 6th, 2013. Wasn't it February? Is that the correct date? Okay, thank you. May I have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from February 6, 2013.
Thank you. There's a motion. Please vote. And please post. Thank you. The motion carries. We will move on to item number 5. Discussion for possible action to approve a professional consulting agreement between the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency and the FFM LLC DBA as Faze Foley Warren for a public relations marketing campaign promoting downtown Las Vegas. This is in reference to Wards 1, 3, and 5, Councilwoman Tarkanian, Councilman Coffin, and Barlow. And Mr. Arndt, good morning.
Good morning, Mayor, members of Council. For the record, Bill Arndt, Director, Economic and Urban Development. This item 5 and item 6 are related, so with your permission, I'd like to call forward item 6 as well.
Okay, and if I may, I will read that. This is agenda item 6, discussion for possible action to approve a professional consulting agreement between the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency and Nancy Higgins, marketing consultant for a public relations marketing campaign promoting downtown. Again, this is Wards 1, 3, and 5, Councilwoman Tarkanian, Councilman Coffin, and Barlow.
Thank you, Mayor. In introducing the item, this item is really part of an ongoing strategic objective to help market downtown as a sense of place, to promote everything that we're doing for growing business, not only in downtown, but in the surrounding neighborhoods. But I'd like first, before introducing our two guests, to give you a brief background of how we got here and the significance and importance of this consulting arrangement. In December of 2005, the City of Las Vegas, through an affiliate company, City Parkway 5, Inc., retained Newland Communities for project manager of Symphony Park. As you know, Symphony Park is our biggest redevelopment effort of our redevelopment agency, and is really meant to be a driver not just for downtown redevelopment, but really for the economic growth of the city. Since then, we've embarked on a campaign to promote Symphony Park and encourage private developers and investors to invest in Symphony Park. And in March of 2008, Newland engaged Nancy Higgins based on her experience working in the marketing industry. That experience includes PR agency experience, executive director of First Friday, working for marketing director for Balboa Park in San Diego. So Nancy really was a perfect fit for what we were trying to accomplish, not just in Symphony Park, but more broadly, what we're trying to accomplish in promoting downtown and growing business in downtown and in the surrounding neighborhoods. Moving forward, in 2010, the city and our department made kind of a strategic shift where we realized that development was starting to slow with the downturn in the economy, and more businesses were looking to come to downtown, not because of Symphony Park, but because of downtown. Downtown is an important marketing component of recruiting business, not just for downtown and our redevelopment areas, but also for the city. Businesses really were coming to associate downtown in the sense of place as a desirable place to do business. So in January of 2011, we embarked on a new approach to basically shift our marketing dollars that we were spending on promoting Symphony Park and instead promote downtown. And we embarked on a downtown marketing and public relations initiative, the same type of thing that many cities around the country do, cities like San Diego, cities like Austin, to try to not only promote developers and investors coming, but also small business and business coming into the city and coming into downtown. And so in this approach, we actually shifted the contract over from Newland directly to the city. And we really have, it's really a twofold contract. We have Nancy Higgins as our marketing director to focus on strategic marketing, which is something above and beyond that you normally get if you just had a single firm, a public relations firm working on public relations. And then second, Fess Foley Warren and Melissa Warren, one of the principals, who had been working on the Symphony Park campaign since 2006. So we were looking really at changing direction. We think the results speak for themselves, and I'm going to let Nancy and Melissa talk about the results. These two items are for a contract that's actually a little bit more than a single contract. It's a 15-month contract for both public relations and marketing. The total spend is $375,430. If you annualize that, it's less. It's closer to the $300,000, which we had been spending the last couple of years. So with that, I'd like to introduce both Melissa Warren of Fess Foley Warren and Nancy Higgins.
Thank you, and good morning.
Good morning, Mayor Goodman, Mayor Pro Tem Anthony, City Council members, City staff members, Betsy Scott. I'm Melissa Warren, Managing Partner of Fess Foley Warren Public Relations.
And I'm Nancy Higgins, a marketing consultant.
Bill's already done a really great job of bringing you up to speed on how we got to where we are. But, you know, I do want to say also that in my office, this contract covers the services of 6 people, including a social media director, a videographer, 2 senior account executives. We also work with about 10 freelancers, so the contract is very all-inclusive, and It does not represent just fees to the agency. A good chunk of it is hard costs in terms of website development and maintenance, printing, signage. So it is an all-inclusive contract. When we began working on the downtown, when we actually expanded, I'll let you do that. When we expanded the reach from just Symphony Park to include all of downtown, we realized that 2012 was going to be a banner year for obvious reasons with everything that was happening downtown. So we developed and created the tagline, The Year of Downtown. You've all heard it. It was widely adopted by media, readily used by the public, and it created an umbrella tagline for everything we were doing downtown that year. The ad on the left side of the screen actually is representative of a special section that we facilitated and secured from the Las Vegas Review-Journal in 2011. It was 16 pages long, dedicated entirely to promoting downtown business, downtown area. And the image on the right is the 2012 publication, again secured and facilitated by FFW with the Review-Journal. It grew from 16 pages to 24 pages. In 2012, we began a very collaborative effort. We expanded our reach. We began working with the Downtown Las Vegas Alliance. We partnered with dozens of businesses. We speak to all kinds of community groups. And the outcome of that was to evolve the tagline, The Year of Downtown, into Rediscover Downtown 2013. You saw the logo on that at the top of the presentation, and we launched it last October with Rediscover Downtown Day on October 13th. We kicked the day off with the Rediscover Downtown Heart Walk, 5,000 people downtown. The day was capped off by an amazing concert on Fremont Street Experience, and during the day, scores of businesses offered locals all kinds of incentives and specials to encourage them to come downtown, because even though we eat, sleep, and breathe downtown and we know about all the amazing, remarkable things that are happening out there, we know that a lot of people who live in the burbs on either side of the valley may not have come downtown and explored everything that's new in the area. So the Rediscover Downtown initiative is continuing throughout 2013. We're already planning Rediscover Downtown Day, but we're also working on some smaller Rediscover Downtown events in the spring and the summer that will lead up to Rediscover Downtown Day in November. The results of our efforts have been, quite honestly, remarkable. With so many people working on this account, putting so much effort into it, we have taken great pains to measure our results in a number of ways, and I'm going to let Nancy go through a chart with you to show you the results of our efforts.
So as Melissa said, we track quite a bit of what we do and what comes in as a result of our pitches and all of our promotions. And the first one is free positive publicity. And I think I probably should turn it back over to Melissa, just because this is what her team does.
Yeah.
This shows exactly what kind of publicity is gained through the pitches that Fess Foley Warren
Pitches and
completes.
press releases. So in the public relations industry, the standard for valuing publicity is 3 times ad value. Meaning, if you were to buy an ad in a magazine or a newspaper or buy an ad on TV, it would cost you X, but it's paid placement. Public relations is earned media, meaning you don't pay for it. You pitch a story, an idea to an editor, a reporter, and they publish it or air it for you. So in the public relations industry, the value of that is considered greater than if you were to have to pay for it if you were buying an ad. But given that this is the city, we want to be very, very conservative in our estimates, so we don't even go with PR value. Our calculations are based strictly on ad value. In my office, we have a very sophisticated, we subscribe to a very sophisticated software program, database. I know the city has similar tracking through TVIs. One of our systems is Vocus, and we can generate reports on a daily basis of the results of our coverage. I mean, if we just wanted to know who out there was talking about downtown Las Vegas, we could do that as well. So we do spend a considerable amount of time tracking and monitoring what we do, and we're also very, very careful when we're going through these massive reports to eliminate the things that we had nothing to do with generating. You know, Zappos, for instance, it's a publicity generator in and of itself, and we typically are not involved in promoting Zappos. We deal with everybody else and everything else. So, you know, we'll eliminate that as we're preparing our report. So we are very, very conservative.
Thanks, Melissa. The second line is downtown businesses publicized, and this is how
Excuse me,
many actual businesses.
Could I
both
just ask a
Sure.
question?
Oh,
I didn't get
definitely.
to the end of that. You were saying that you had free positive publicity, and you were telling me you tracked it.
We do.
So how do you know which comes free and which doesn't come free? I mean,
Well, free meaning editorial coverage, either print or broadcast.
how do you know some of that isn't from Zappos rather than from what you do or what someone else
The
does?
report that we get through the services we subscribe to will actually list the title of the publication or the article. So it's pretty easy to weed out the stories that we did not have influence over. And if we have a question, we'll actually go to that publication's website and look it up. So
Okay.
we're very, very,
It's a little bit subjective, though. Thank you.
Sure. So also, we work with individual downtown businesses, and we keep track of how many we have helped publicize. And many smaller businesses really do not know where to go in terms of publicity, how to start, what to do. So this is very, very valuable to them. And I have a couple of quotes from them. One is a large business that also participated in our Rediscover Downtown Day, and that was Binion's. And they received a 25% uptick in redemption on their promotion on Rediscover Downtown Day. And this was much more, and this is a quote, much more successful than any other time they ran the exact same promotion. So you can't ask for more than that. Then for a small business, and these are the people that really are helped by this. This is a real benefit to them. The Corner Store, which is one of the little design stores on Main Street in the Arts District, said to us, and I'll just quote, "Yes, we saw an increase the day of and the following week." Again, it's on Rediscover Downtown Day. The day of was about 125% of average volume, over average volume. The following weekend was about 300% above average. So it also accumulated because people didn't come that specific day, but they came later because of the publicity and because of this, because they could refer to it. We, of course, don't have a direct "how did you hear about us" metric. They're a very small business run by one couple. But overall, it was good, and people were and still are coming down because they heard about us from that marketing campaign. So many of the small businesses that we've promoted have sent us similar testimonials as to how much we've helped them and helped their business grow. The next line item here is added value donations. And this is all of the added value that we're able to achieve over the year. It includes a considerable amount of professional time spent by the marketing team above and beyond the retainer, because we basically believe in doing the best job, and sometimes that takes more time than we've been allocated. It always takes more time. It also is Symphony Park lecture sponsors, securing the sponsorship from the RJ, City Life, KNPR, all of the added value that we're able to bring to the picture, including some of the businesses that we work with on promotions, and they provide rooms for fam tours or restaurant trade. They do all kinds of things too. So that is calculated very, again, conservatively into a mass sum each year. We also keep track of our e-newsletter database, and this gives you a wonderful indication of how interested people are in downtown. In 2011, when we started out, it was 1,500 subscribers. We've grown to 9,300, and we're rapidly growing to 10,000. So we're very excited about that. And also acceptance and promotion of the theme, which Melissa's already talked about. And then we also have a Year of Downtown video that's had over 11,000 views, almost 12,000. So these are some of our tracking methods. In 2013, in 2011 and 2012, we concentrated on building up the buzz among the local population primarily. As you can see, that was our Las Vegas Valley residents, getting people to explore downtown. But in 2013, excuse me, because we have achieved a traction with the media, with all of the downtown stakeholders, and there is a big buzz going on, the EUD and RDA staff told us, okay, let's put your priority on Las Vegas business and development communities. So that's what we're doing this year. We're not ignoring the general population. We're certainly not ignoring some of these, because these benefit small and large businesses in Las Vegas. But we are changing direction. And that leads to our marketing goals this coming year. Again, these were set understanding that a change of direction changes some of the tools that we'll be using, changes some of the ways in which we'll be pitching, changes some of the media. Some of the business publications are less costly than consumer publications. So these are very reasonable goals for us, which, as usual, I'm sure we will surpass, and we're already tracking to surpass in positive publicity. Here you go, Melissa.
Yeah. In fact, you might want to show them.
Yes, actually. Thank you.
Travel Weekly is a huge industry publication within the travel industry, and we work directly with this reporter on a 4-page downtown story. And because the subscriber base of Travel Weekly is so large, it has a very significant value. Before I go on, I just want to say real quickly, Nancy was talking about all the small businesses we're able to help. These are businesses who never would be able to afford the services of a public relations firm and a marketing expert. And you know, it's one of the favorite things we do in our job is reaching out and helping these small businesses, and it really does make a difference. It really, there's an uplift to their business, and they're so appreciative, and it's honestly one of the more rewarding things that we get to do under this contract. In 2013, our rediscovered downtown messaging will continue, because we know that 2013 is promising to be another banner year. We saw the recent opening of the Discovery Children's Museum. We know Zappos is moving downtown. We know the Downtown Grand is going to be opening this fall, and we know there are a lot more small businesses in the pipeline. We're also going to continue to differentiate downtown from the Strip. And I wanted to take a minute here to just tell you anecdotally what is happening. So we work with journalists from all over the country and all over the world who come to Vegas. We're all very fortunate to live in a city like Las Vegas, where you know, we're a media darling, we're a media magnet. Everybody wants to come here. But what is happening now is the journalists who previously would only want to cover the Strip, who would only want to stay in Strip hotels and write about Strip experiences, they are very, very interested in downtown. And we work with journalists every week. We're actually in the process of putting together an entire familiarization tour for a number of very large cultural and arts publications. They're going to come down and spend 3 days downtown, a lot of that in the Arts District. So the wonderful thing about FFW and Nancy Higgins having done this for as long as we have, we've sort of become that go-to downtown firm, not only, you know, for local media, but a lot of our national media contacts. We work with the airline, in-flight magazines, and, you know, people know that when they come to us, we're not just promoting one business or one project. We're promoting all of downtown. So it's really fantastic. And then to the change in direction, we are going to be helping the RDA promote the incentives that they offer both large and small businesses. I mentioned earlier about increasing collaboration. You know, we work very closely with the Downtown Las Vegas Alliance, with stakeholders, with local media, with just a very large group. Nancy and I are on the speaking tour. We're out doing our downtown presentation to business networking groups every month, with Rotary clubs, with service organizations. So, you know, it's a grassroots effort as well. And then finally, I just wanted to, you know, make the point that in 2011 and 2012, there was very little new happening on the Strip in terms of new development. That's changing. You know, we've got SLS, we've got Link, we've got the Resorts World Las Vegas announcement that just occurred. So the Strip is kind of, the giant is awakening, if you will. And through our efforts, we want to make sure that downtown continues to capture media attention, and our goal is to continue to promote downtown as the city's true center of culture, commerce, and community. Any questions?
Thank you. I'd like to start off. Are you piggybacking at all with the LVCVA or the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance now and putting our logo out there so that everything that goes to conventions and groups and economic out-of-state enticements?
We are working very closely with the LVCVA on a lot of these media opportunities, and we've started that conversation. It's interesting. A year ago, they really didn't want to deal with us, but now they know that downtown is a force to be reckoned with, and so yes, we are working with them.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you, Mayor. I attend quite a few of these small group meetings like Rotary clubs and Lions clubs just to speak about what's going on downtown, and it's primarily up in the suburbs because that's what I represent. And
Right.
what I find interesting is when I ask people, have you been to the Smith Center? A lot of hands go up. Have you been to the Mob Museum? A lot of hands go up. So, and people are a lot more interested in what's going on downtown. They're asking more questions, what's happening downtown, and as I talk about it, they kind of get excited. So I think we have some good momentum going on. I think the residents of Las Vegas are awakening that there are things happening downtown. Downtown is coming back in Las Vegas, so we have to keep this momentum going and really get a lot more specific with the rest of our residents in Las Vegas that this is happening downtown. Come on down here. It's happening. We just have to continue it, and I appreciate what you guys are doing. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I'd like to add, and I'm going to turn the mic over, aside from the great job that you've done, I know all of us are out there in public all the time. One of the best pieces that we have, which is out of date already, is that downtown booklet. And wherever I speak, if I have the numbers, depending on the size of the group, I always hold it up and tell them this is downtown. The map in there is so great, but it is absolutely out of date. And we need to perhaps update that and do it soon, and perhaps distribute it to all council because they're always out in their neighborhoods. And that should just be something we have in our pocket. Anything that you believe that needs to be marketed specifically. I love to talk about the history in the El Cortez, and that's where that explosion on the east side began, and then everything else that's been going on. But that booklet's phenomenal, and you've done a great job. Councilman Coffin.
Thank you, Mayor. The question I have, and I should have thought of this before the last few months as we've been trying to figure out how to make the world know that that there are things happening in downtown of a nature that doesn't relate to the entertainment business, for example, and casinos, but the Shoshani family has invested their entire life savings into creating and resurrecting the White Cross Market. And we need markets badly downtown. Now then, they just received final approval yesterday from the health department, which means they've cleared us and the health department. They're ready to go. They're ordering their inventory right now. And will you be able to help them with their opening?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I've been wondering, you know, city staff is a little bit shorthanded when it comes to things like that. You're the pros. The Forbes Center is opening on April 5th and 6th, but I think they're a little more sophisticated when it comes to ginning up public relations. But James Shoshani and his family haven't got a clue on that. So it would be nice if you could make yourself available to help them. And through my office, we'll be able to
Okay.
give you all the information.
We'll follow up with them immediately.
Yeah, they'll be open in the next couple of weeks, I hope.
Thank you. Great.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Councilman.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Beers.
Thank you. And as well, I recently discovered the hacker space, so the Sin Shop, they call it, SYNSHOP, at 117 North 4th. If you haven't been, you should be. It's a non-tourist oriented, very much locals oriented thing that could stand some marketing help and would absolutely get people downtown. Some people, gear-headed people like me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman
Thank you, Mayor.
Ross.
Ms. Warren, you know that the mayor and I both are part of the Downtown Las Vegas Alliance, and I think I echo her thoughts and sentiments. We've recognized through your efforts with just that alone how important this is. The numbers speak for themselves. I think this is the right step that we need to take in continuing to promote downtown and all the great things that are happening down here. So thank you.
Thank you.
I know Councilwoman Tarkanian has a comment. I'd like to ask, how much, I'm a firm believer, having worked at the Riviera in advertising and publicity and marketing several years back, and I'm a firm believer that it's all about the marketing. It's all about the marketing, whether it's true or not. Hopefully everything that we do is true. But really, what allocation, you said of the dollars that are allocated here, it's mostly staffing. What type of dollars is the city putting up to get out there and really get this on?
Mayor, thank you. It's really primarily two things. One is this engagement, and hopefully you see the importance of it. The other thing is we have on our team one full-time staff member, June Johns, who basically does two things. One is work directly with Nancy and Melissa and making sure that these dollars are dollars well spent and managing these two contracts. The other thing she does is she does things like the Downtown Visitors Guide that you mentioned. We update that annually. We wish we could do it more periodically because we know that during the year businesses are constantly opening up, but we print that annually. It's basically with every concierge in town. They have copies of it, so that's funneling people into downtown that might not otherwise come downtown. Ms. Johns also does supports grand openings and ribbon cuttings, as well as supporting basically our online presence, not just this campaign, but the city's online presence as far as the Redevelopment Agency's website and the city's website.
Thank you. Councilwoman.
First of all, I know you've done great work. You've worked very hard on that. I have some questions to ask, however, that pertain to what I have seen for the ward I represent. I would like to ask, do we send out an RFP on this? Is this how, this is a selection is made of you through an RFP?
So the way we selected this firm, it really comes down to a relationship. We had engaged Melissa's firm, Foley Warren, back in 2006, and based on the product that we got and the value that we got, we elected to place and source this contract without an RFP. That's something certainly we could look at, but I think our philosophy really is we like and find value in the campaign that we're doing. So if we were not having the success that we were, then I think what we probably would do is we'd pull it back and say, we want to change direction. We don't like the publicity value we're getting. We don't like the number of small businesses that you're directly working with, and we put it out to bid. We chose not to do that because we wanted to continue this campaign and we really see it as a 3 to 5 year campaign.
And I can
So we're
understand.
kind of in the middle of the
Yeah,
campaign.
and I can understand that, and I have no question about the ability of what they have done. However, I think that opens us up to criticism, because there are many people who question why, for these amounts, you wouldn't have an RFP. So that's why I asked that. Secondly, you know that at the CMO briefing yesterday, I asked for additional information pertaining to how we could determine what came through Tony Hsieh's, what came through this, what came through another way, because I think that's very important at a time when we're cutting everywhere. We're told we have vast needs, and financially we're facing a vast deficit. This is a time when we need to look at everything carefully. You know that in the past, and I know Betsy knows also, many times I've said, please give us this information with enough time so that we can go through it thoroughly. If you get 2 or 3 days ahead of time, that's not enough time to go through it thoroughly. So of course, and it's not your fault, but what I asked for yesterday, I wasn't able to get because you probably didn't have enough time to get it for me. And I have said in the past that I cannot vote for anything unless I've had it with enough time, at least a full week's time, to go over it thoroughly. But going into some other questions, this money is coming from RDA funds, right?
The budget is...
Or is this general budget funds?
The budget is coming from Redevelopment Agency Area 1 budget, so it's
Right.
coming directly out of that budget. And Councilman, you're correct pertaining to your question. We have not had a chance to get that information to you. What I'd like to do is work directly with Melissa and basically have a to Z list of every media placement that they did that gets up to that $1.9 million publicity value. She has all the backup documentation.
Right.
We can certainly get a copy of that, and then you can kind of see for
And
yourself
I
where the
understand that,
value
and
is.
Bill, I'm not criticizing it for you about it or anybody. I'm just saying that's my job. That's what I'm elected to do. I don't have time to do it thoroughly if I just get it a couple of days in advance. And this has happened in many things in the past, as you know, and I said I cannot vote approval. So I will not vote approval today. Nothing against you, but it's a principle thing on how we are able to handle the information. You know, it's very difficult for me to say to people in my ward who have received almost zero of RDA funding so far. We will be after we've worked 3.5 years to get RDA 2, but almost zero. Our name's on there every time, Barlow, Coffin, Tarkanian, and I said this years ago, Tarkanian's ward is getting zero. You know how much some of those places, the Boho furniture place that just opened up, they're desperate. They're desperate for help. We have people falling, they can't even swim out of it. And yet, they're getting nothing. And we keep putting money into, really, it's downtown. It's always downtown. And I know it's wonderful, and I love downtown. I push it all the time, and I have lots of my family going there more. And I'm just trying to tell you, we have to also, when you say surrounding areas, just understand that surrounding area so far has not been hit. We have some good things. We have our medical district, which is coming along. We have an historical district, which we're building up near there, you know, near the springs. But this has been done all by ourselves. We have openings there of little tiny businesses. They don't have the funds. But we're never, or nobody's ever contacted us and said, hey, you know what? You could use these people. I think that's very important to do because you have this surrounding area that you can walk to. From City Hall, you can walk to it. And I think that's very important. And Tony Hsieh has brought a lot of publicity to downtown. I know you're piggybacking on it. I think that's great. With the fact that we have almost $400,000 involved, I would prefer if you just didn't have as 400, could we do 200 at a time when we're cutting back on everything else. I got 3 very strong, angry letters from people who use our parks. And if you go out there and you see the maintenance involved, the lack of, you could see why people are saying, what the heck is happening here? We're deteriorating. Isn't anybody looking over there? So I just am stating this as a matter of fact, not to take away from what you've done. I think you've done very, very well. I just think that, you know, I have a ward that gets lost in the shuffle. I represent that ward, and I have to state openly why we need more help there. So I'm asking you that, number one. And number two, my no vote today, and I'll probably be the only no vote, but my no vote is because it's a principle that I want to have this information in time so I can go over it thoroughly. And I wasn't able to do it today. But thank you very much for all you've done.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Anyone else?
I'm ready to make a motion, Your Honor.
Councilman Coffin?
Thank you. I'm ready to move on this. I will say as prefatory remarks simply that this firm has always had its offices downtown. It's a small firm, a boutique firm specializing in downtown. And I think that's a critical thing for us. So sometimes you can't always get that kind of thing if you broadcast or shotgun a request for bids out to the community. Well, you get all the big guys, but they'll look at this account and they'll say, well, how much is that? And it's just not worth it to them. So if they want you, they'll put you off on a couple of desks off to the side, and you can imagine where you'll get there. So I think we're benefiting from the specialized locus and focus of this firm. So I know they also have other clients downtown. So really, they're basically of downtown, in downtown. So therefore, I will move to approve item 5.
We will take those separately. So there's a motion to approve item number 5. Please vote. And please post. That motion carries. And Councilman, on number 6, please.
Yes, Your Honor, I will now move for approval of item number 6.
There's a motion. Please vote. And please post. And that motion carries. And again, I can only say that it's marketing, 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 advertising, marketing, marketing, getting our name out there, and you know that more than anybody. So I think you've done a grand job. I certainly understand our councilwoman's fight over the years, but now that they're included in the redevelopment area too, that will move. But if the core of the apple is bad, everything around it is bad. So you're working on that, and I'm sure you will continue to expand.
That's a good analogy.
So thank you very, very much. We look
Thank you,
forward to
Mayor.
hearing from you often and again.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor,
We'll get to work
now.
I'd just like to say this really is very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love the way you did that.
Thank you.
It's always nice to end on a positive. And Mr. Arndt, when may we expect these new booklets? And thematically, can we do something on the cover so that they pop a little bit more, so that when we put them down, when we're speaking around the city or out in the county, wherever we are, that it's something that they look at and they think, wow, again, advertising, marketing, I want to take that with me.
Absolutely, we can do that, and just, Mayor, so you know, we actually have one of our city's finest, one of our own city graphic artists that actually does all that work. So that's actually a publication we do in-house. It would probably cost us 2 to 3 times what we're spending if we did it out-of-house, but
Great.
we're always looking to improve. We'd be
It's a great piece, and is there a timeline on it?
June Johns with Economic Urban Development. We are currently updating the visitor guide. As a matter of fact, I was doing some calls to the museums yesterday. I and one other woman, Brenda Hughes, in the office does it. We wish we could update it more than once a year, but again, it's a cost factor. My time and her time is contributed for free, as is the graphic designers, but again, the printing costs. But we do distribute over 100,000 of them a year. We are currently updating them with the goal to have the brand new ones by the time your mayor's conference hits.
Oh, wonderful. And so an extra order, because we're expecting probably anywhere from 600 to 1,200 mayors of 30,000
Well, again, we'll print
and more.
100,000 and then, you know,
Okay.
so that would be more than enough, then, or probably above that.
And I would assume, councilmen and women, you would like to take these with you when you go out into your neighborhoods and speak.
Mayor, I'd just like to tell you that I had felt the same way you did. I take them wherever I can, but I noticed they were out of date, so I haven't been taking them as frequently. But if I had the new ones, yes.
Yeah, again, we'd love to update them every 6 months, but it's a cost factor, so.
And they're a great job, and the map is fabulous to help. And I imagine at some point the map's going to have to be a fold out or something. But it really is, it's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we will move on to agenda item 7, citizen participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the redevelopment agency. No subject may be acted upon by the redevelopment agency unless that subject's on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, come to the podium, please. Give your name for the record, the amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. Anyone wishing to speak under this portion of the agenda? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to item 8, agency member recognition. Comments made by individual agency members during this portion of the agenda will not be acted upon by the agency unless that subject is on the agenda and scheduled for action. Is there any member of the redevelopment agency who wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda? All right, hearing none, this redevelopment agency is adjourned, and we will start our meeting immediately. Excuse me, we need to switch technology. 5-minute break.